right, hello and welcome everyone. Isle Weaver is here, and today we are going to be doing a video that is basically going to be going over all of the secrets that we currently know about in a run of Isle Weaver, and also talking about the game mode, where to use the currency you're going to get out of it, and just some general stuff about the update. I played about 12-ish hours yesterday, and am pretty well and farmed up, but let's just get started. We are going to go over all of the new collectibles, all of the lore items, all of the soma chords, and also one additional thing that is not a collectible that exists in the Isle Weaver runs. And we're going to be talking about how the rates are with getting things. A spoiler, it's really, really good. But first, just jumping in, it is going to work basically just like a regular Duviri entrance, other than you are picking the Warframe that you're going to be primarily using. You're not going to be the Drifter first. There's actually no Drifter like portion of this that's required, though you can still use your operator abilities. I'll just grab Mesa here, as should be obvious why I would grab Mesa here. We'll grab the bow because it's fun. We'll grab the Nikana because it's fun. I am Mesa after all, so we can pick silly, goofy options, and the Twin Comac because they're also hilarious. Now, to start off, before we even walk through to start the mission, there are 3 lore fragments here. Of the total 15 that exist in this update, there is one right here, and mine are like dead. They'll glow and make noise for you, so these will actually be easier to notice. But there's one right there. There's one behind the Keith, kind of just like sequestered back here in the corner. You can't really see in the grass. You'll be able to see it with its glow it usually has. And over here in the usual weapons area for the Drifter, we have the 3rd fragment in the starting zone. You can also talk to Dominus a little bit here and get a little bit of lore stuff. But moving on, we can just jump into the mission. We immediately jump into the open world area for Isle Weaver. This is always going to be a static open world that does not change as far as I have seen so far. That might not be, there might be some little things that change here and there across the moods, but it has been the same pretty much every time for me, outside of the randomized modes you'll get in the Undercraft. And we have a bunch of fragments to collect here. So starting with the city, before we even get to our objective over there, back over here at the usual exit to Duviri, and it is the exit still, there is a fragment that is just above it, right here. And then before we head over to our other 2 fragments, I do want to touch on the Soma Chord and the Prex card, as the Soma Chord is right here. The first one is right here. The Prex card is hidden over on this island out here. You can also use Q to fly over here with your Kaith if you don't have an operator that can teleport, or teleport as far as mine. And then back in here, you have this little setup here, and then the Prex card is just sitting on this rock right here. I do not think that you actually need to have Araxia leveled this time in order to collect that, but that is a usual condition, is that you have the Warframe and have leveled them in order for it to appear. So it's not showing up here for you now. That might have been a thing that they fixed in the hotfix. So that is something to note. Now, moving back to the city for our other 2 city collectibles. It is pretty much always going to send you on an objective in this courtyard. So we are going to go down here. Behind this bench, we have one. And this is just the main courtyard below the tower, just so you have a good reference point of where we are. So there's one below the bench there. And then on this building right here with the bridge, we have our last of the city fragments. And we can just hit our objective up while we're down here, inspect the mirror, eliminate all of our targets. We're Mesa. We're not going to have to worry about that too much. This is just an elimination objective. Quite simple. Get that done real quick. And then you got to do the mirror, which is find the purple and then get it on the chest. We're also grabbing decrees as we do this. The decrees are pretty like short-lived in this, so I would just say just pick whatever. I wouldn't even really worry about re-rolling. Bountiful Harvest is always nice, though, as there are a number of resources kicking around here. And then we move on to the second half here, which is the kind of Scholar's Landing main island. Again, we were going to just show all the fragments first. First one that I was just getting is over here on this right island. So we can jump up here. And you can do mid-air Kaith stuff, so if you do run out of teleports, that's still fine. First one is just right here, sitting on this. Bam. And for the next, both of them are on the main island, with the first being right above this big main entrance door, where you will end up quite a few times. Just this fragment right here. And then our last one being actually very simple to get to from here. Not the last fragment in this area. Just being up here on this pillar. Now, there are two other things I want to note in this area that are way far up the tower. So, for that, we're just going to grab the Caith and just get to jump in. Get way up here. About halfway up the tower, we have, I believe it is right here. It'll be gray for me. No, I think it's one more up. No, I went too far. This is right over... Should be it. Yeah, no, here it is. No, I was correct. It's just grayed out for me because it's a Soma chord tone. This is our second Soma chord tone. Also, as a fun little Easter egg, over here there is this statue, which, if you are so inclined, you can bow at and get a little bonus. And then finally, way up on top of the tower, and this is not a collectible, but this is just a lore thing. We see something that may be important for later that comes with a quite long lore journal for you to read if you are interested in that. And after that, we can just head back down, though, and get on with our other objectives. Get the murmur guarding the treasure. Oh, it's below us. Oh, these guys just moved down. Okay. Here we go. Open that up. Grab another decree. I'll take the fortified will. Why not? It's fine. This will stage us up.
Two identical souls.
We're going into the Undercraft now. And the Undercraft has three. There's one here. You have very little time to grab this. There's one here. And there's one right here. You have very little time to grab these. You have two entrances into the Undercraft per go. If you do go in a full squad, of course, you'll have much better shot of getting those, as you can just go in one at a time. So if you are farming in a squad, if you get there first, you'll have a little bit of additional time to grab those. I will show this again whenever we go through that Undercraft sequence one more time, as there is two Undercrafts per go. I will say that the best things to get for your Undercrafts are just not survival. Survival is always going to last 5 minutes. Generally speaking, these like Exterminate variants and the Alchemy variant and such will last less time than that. So your mileage may vary depending on your group. But in general, this takes considerably less than 5 minutes, as you can see. We're currently on a 6.5 minute run here, so not too bad at all. Okay, so survival is definitely like the low roll for what you can roll in the Undercroft, but it's not too bad. Jumping out of here. Sure, we'll take critical hits. Why not? We're Mesa after all. Ourselves some Xeneric energy while we're waiting for the next objective to pop. It is worth noting this objective is what I word I was going to get. This objective can bug out and not spawn the things. I believe this was fixed in the hotfix today, but I do not know for certain that it is not still a little bit buggy. Sometimes it requires a host migration in order to actually have all the things be available. It looks like we're fine here, though. Yes, we have those 3 Scholar artifacts. That is done now. Yeah, that one was bugging out. I believe the hotfix did address it. But if you find yourself just completely unable to find relics on that, the Scholar's relics, and it's just taking forever, you probably are bugged, so that is likely the case there. But they're generally pretty easy to find when they do spawn in. And then after that, we are headed to the Araxia Showdown. So this Araxia Showdown is fairly simple. I will note that this and the final fight on Steel Path are both attenuated, so it is not worth farming this game mode on Steel Path ever, because the currency increases are not worthwhile, which is really unfortunate because, like, I think the Steel Path version of this is also fun, and it's just, like, kind of sad that there's no real reason to do it. In this, it is worth noting that touching the spiders whenever, like, they're down like this, they do, like, explode and nullify you and deal toxin damage, so probably avoid that if you can. But in general, it's really not a big deal. You can actually just, like, kind of hang out, but you want to clear all these spiders, especially if you have something that's easily capable of doing so, such as, like, a Stein Axe. Obviously, Mesa making incredibly short work of Araxia here. Any kind of decent weapon will just, like, obliterate her on regular path, which is what you would, of course, expect to have happen. Just you know, throwing the Comac at killing these guys. Long reloads on the Comac and such, but not much we can really do about it. My other weapon is a Daiki, which is not good at this. And then we can just finish off Araxia here. It is worth noting she is also party scaled, so if you are seeing her be much tougher even on regular path here, it's not that my Mesa is like super insane, though that is true. It's that she does actually have less health based on party size. This hallway is notable because there's a ton of resources in it, so I said very much just slamming in this hallway. Obviously, you have to use the newly nerfed slams, which were very significantly nerfed for this literal exact purpose I'm using them for right now, which is really unfortunate. So you have to jump to like the straight up ceiling in order to be able to break these boxes efficiently. Unless, of course, you have a box breaking Warframe, which is, of course, always very nice. But that is worth grabbing, especially if you need any of those resources. Of course, if you're looking for something to feed to the helmet, like a number of those resources are available for that. Heading into the Undercraft, I am going to show all 3 locations once again. We have the one there, the one right here, and then finally the one here. It is obviously, you know, possible to grab them all, as you can see, but you need to use at least both goes to grab them if you're not familiar with exactly where they are. Here's life support. This is where there's a cut in the video. Okay, survival's wrapping up, so now we can get back to business. Let's get out of this Undercraft and back to finding all of our fragments and doing all of the things that are the Mesa survival you've seen before. Hopefully no one minds that I skipped that. Put back on here. Sure, more critical hit steal for Oz. Why not? Why not have it? All right, summon the beast. So this is our final showdown. This will notably be the last time you are in this zone. So if you missed any of those fragments, Prex cards, or Soma cords, this is your last opportunity to grab them. Also, you'll note that with those objectives completed, color has returned to this zone, so it could be a little bit easier to grab those things if you had a hard time seeing them before. Notably, the Soma cord being fully black and white up top is the thing for that. We can just jump through the portal, and we end up in our arena for our final fight. Now, don't walk up to this right away. You don't want to do that. Jump up here to our right. There is a Soma cord here. There's our final Soma cord, and we have the last 3 fragments that are in this area, which is going to be this one here. And then zooming around the arena, we have up over on this slightly shorter platform, we have our second one, and then our final little lore fragment is going to be right here behind this pillar. It's kind of encircling the kind of boss here. Boss is just a fragmented one. It is worth noting, yes, this does take a long time on Seal Path, as attenuated fragmented ones usually do. The fragmented Tide, however, is, you know, we're able to make quite short work of them with something like Mesa. Oh, unless Mesa does not want to shoot that guy for whatever reason. There we are. So we get our phase 1 of this guy. And once again, this is a HP scaled enemy. I believe they're not targetable by Mesa's 4, which is kind of whatever. We'll use the Daikyu Prime, huh? This thing doesn't see a whole lot of action, so might as well see a little bit now. There you go, phase 1 for that. Then this will turn into a bunch of them. Second one will spawn. Zelator will be joined by Susie, I believe. Oh, this is Zelator and Anchorite. I guess it's not always consistently the same, too. Been pretty consistent for me, but whatever. Does not particularly matter anyway. And then this is just... they do share a health bar, which is worth noting. I'm in the stumble zone. Oh, I don't have my healing arcane in my operator. It's annoying. Unfortunately, Mesa cannot target these enemies, and my weapon choices are less than optimal. Let's shoot the Comac at him, though. Sorry about the screen shake. Screen shake's back for this update, everybody. Reloading once again. And come on. We love stumbling. There we go. Then we get our final chest. So we grab this. This will give you a chance at Araxia's materials, or her blueprints rather, Enigma Gyrems, which is actually really nice. I'm very happy to see Enigma Gyrems in the drop table for this. For me personally, there's a ton of cosmetics associated with that. This is also a good opportunity, if you didn't grab it earlier, to grab the lore fragment that's right above the exit. And with us now heading out, we can talk about all of the rewards, including the event that is currently running, which is where we're going to use this Dominus Aureus. The Scuttler Husks are going to be for all of your Araxia stuff. That's your pity currency. It is worth noting, it is like pity current. That's pretty much how you're going to farm her. I have like multiple copies worth of Araxia of Scuttler Husks, and we did not do that much of this content yesterday. So like very, very easy to get that stuff. As for where you're going to go use it, we're going to go head over to the Dorma Zone, which of course you can get to through the Duviri menu very easily. Then in here you can access all of the things that we just collected, including the lore, and that's inside the lore fragments. So in here, just show the lore fragments very briefly. There's Dominus, which we'll be turning in all the things to. Lore fragments right here at this little tower. This will just like load up into that section. It is in this final section, which is Along Came a Spider. You can check that out on your own. I will note, I am a little disappointed that with Scholar's Landing, that being Albric's Island in Duviri, returning, I was hoping for a little bit more stuff we didn't already know if we were paying attention to be added with this update, but we did not really get a whole lot of that in the lore fragments. But what we did get a whole lot of is stuff to get as rewards. So in this shop, we're going to talk about the event rewards first. We have a similar thing to the Jade event with the Signas. There are 3 Signas. They're going to get in levels as the community plays more of this event, and there's great reasons for us to play more of it. These Signas, for me, they're real weird looking. That'll be for somebody. For me personally, I probably am only really going to use this one if I'm going to use any of them, as these ones are like, maybe if we get an Angel Warframe or something, it'll be used by me. The Pathos Clamps, these are limited to only like a few like redeems on this, which is like kind of weird, but it is what it is. They're also on like the expensive sides. This is kind of just like if you do a whole bunch more of it, this is a bonus thing you can get. But I know that people were really enjoying that clamps also drop here, so you're gonna be able to get all of your incarnans and such without having to do regular Duviri content, which I know people are very excited for. That is gonna stay in perpetuity, as this mode is gonna stick around after this is gone, but this won't stay here. You'll just get the regular clamps from the mode. Otherwise, some other additional cosmetics. I do really like this new Parazon skin we have. This is just the one I'm going to use forever now, because I think it looks very, very nice. The Duviri aesthetic looks great on this. Some other returning stuff. The Krios is back. The Wisp Totems. There's some new sigils, which I'll be grabbing. And then down here we have Stansform blueprints, the Basmo, the Celasera, a skin for the Fluctus, if anyone cares. Bunch of arcanes. Now, really, 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 really notable about these arcanes is that they're limited. But they're not that limited. So, for Arcane Energize, it costs you 22 Dominus Aureus, which is notably just under, or just over rather, usually, the amount you get from a regular run of this. And you can redeem 7 of these. Now, here's the deal about that. When you redeem one of these, it is not a single, it's not one Energize. These are packs of 3 copies of Energize, meaning that right now, with the currency I've accrued after purchasing the rest of my second Araxia set so that I can put her in the Helminth, I am like 1 or 2 runs away from just getting another set of Energize. Like, it is the time. The time has come. This is like the lowest farm. Hey, hotfix, nice. It's like the lowest farming it's been in like ages, ever. This is the fastest it has ever been to get a set of Energize. Are you limited to only getting 1 set for yourself? Because 7 times 3 is 21, and that's a full set of Energize. Yes. Does that matter? No, not at all. No matter what, like, I'm going to get another set of Energize just to have on hand. Of course. Why would I ever not? And not only that, like, that's the expensive one in this. Like, sets of Avenger. This is 4 Dominus Aureus. And these are in bundles of 7, I believe, because you get, it's 3 limit. And you get 7 per redemption. It's 12. It's 1 run to get a set of fucking Avenger. Like, there's absolutely no reason not to just go through here and complete your sets, at least of the relevant ones. But it's so fast to complete these sets, you might as well just go through and do it. Like, the game mode is like fast. It's regular Warframe content for all intents and purposes. It's honestly pretty chill. It is the random loadouts which some people don't enjoy, but like, if you don't have your sets of Strike, Guardian, because Guardian actually comes up on Araxia, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, Strike, Guardian, Eruption can honestly come up. Like Velocity, of course, that being like, you know, the Mesa Arcane. Trickery will come up for Ash, and this is like, what, nothing to get? It's going to cost you a 6 Aureus in order to get a full set of Trickery for your Ash. Nothing, half of a run of this game mode. Precision comes up. I used it on Revenant. Pulse can come up. Aegis is immaculate. You can just get a full set of Aegis. Like, you only need one to get like a lot of the functionality of Aegis, but you might as well have a full set. Avenger, kind of power crept by Hotshot, but Hotshot is a highly limited arcane right now. You can still just get Avenger and use it. Fury's here. Arachne, obviously, for Araxia, having great potential use on her. A set of Rage is honestly super solid. Grace and Barrier easily on offer here. Literally everything. There's really no reason not to just go through and just get max sets of all of these that you don't have max sets of. There's kind of just no reason not to. It is exceedingly good. Couple that with Exchange Scuttler Husks. It is worth noting, I did make a mistake earlier. Scuttler Husks are what you use to get Araxia, so the set of Energize that I can almost get, that is actually not related to the same currency. I went and got the Parazon skin earlier, is what I purchased in here for this currency. Correction for myself a little bit earlier, sorry. But the Scuttler Husks, I have 141 of them. In total, Araxia is, I believe she is actually, pretty much, I actually think I have another amount for this. I do, yeah, so it's 120 of them to get all of the Araxia blueprints out of this. I have 20 more than that after our last run here. So she's very easy to put together. In terms of her resources, in order to actually get her, the Temporal Dust, as you can see, brand new resource. I have plenty of it already for the purposes of building this at the very least. Kovnik is really not terrible to get. The only thing that is like a little much, and like a little much, I mean, it's the only thing you're really going to have to definitely make sure you pick up is the Tasoma extract, but that exists in the game mode in the cave you spawn at. So maybe just go pick it up while you're doing these runs. Honestly, otherwise, weapons, the Psychotid, this is like, you know, it's going to be some runs to pick this up. You can also just get the blueprint as you're doing the runs. Same with Araxia. The Thalys, have not tested this yet. This got fixed in today's hotfix. Well, the other today's hotfix, not the one that's happening right now. But it seems kind of promising based on what it's supposed to do. The Spinnerex, I have not used a huge amount, but again, you can just get that here as well. And of course, a bunch of the different Duviri scenes are also in here. These are at really great rates. Like, I would say that, like, Araxia being at 120 Scuttler Husks, if you, like, run this and get 0 of her blueprints, we're talking about this being usually 6 or 7 runs in order to get her full set. 6 or 7 runs is going to be about, let's call it an hour and a half of the mode if you're going kind of decent fast. So, like, really, really chill farm. I would put this close to the level of how easy it is to get Dante, which is stellar. Obviously, we're going to talk about how good she is tomorrow. I do hope that there's some stuff in this hotfix for me in regards to that. Yeah, that's what's going on. Game mode, really enjoy it. It's pretty much just normal Warframe content with like the Duviri twists on top of it. It is really unfortunate that the Steel Path mode is not more worthwhile to do. I would really like it if that were the case, but it's just not. We can have a different discussion about attenuation being used wrong per its design intentions in a different video. But yeah, really like the updates so far. Araxia, I will, spoiler, is a whole lot of fun, so we got that going for us. Hopefully you got all of your collectibles, got all your stuff, got all your Araxia, got all your weapons, got all your arcanes, got all your in the Isle Weaver update. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you, and I will see you tomorrow to talk about Araxia in depth. So ends today's video. Thanks so much to all of the patrons for supporting not only this channel, but also the new Soulframe Scholar channel. It is much appreciated as that channel gets started. And thanks very much to our $10 patrons, Athean, Ith, Albert Drake, Alex Parnham, Arbiter Daydream, Babyhoot, Arcus, Nuven, Automatic, Brutus Salazar, Canolathra, Bob World, Colleen Smith, Dylan Dworsky, Athrain, James Hawthorne, GC4 Science, Josh, Lord Ian, Luzanth, Mike Easman, Mikkel, Mitchta, Nerve, Ruby, S267, Sanyu, Cezon, Sharp247, The Coupon of Death, Waifu Wars, Waldetto1, Seraphir, and Zero Weebs Plan, and of course all of the $5 and $2 patrons as well. Your support is very much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.